So what's going on in the coaching for you right now? What are you seeing?
I think one of the things that's very interesting that I'm seeing now is that even working with business owners, CEOs, executives, what I'm finding is instead of them coming to coaching strictly about business and about the bottom line and the profits, they're kind of coming and looking for ways to improve themselves in the realm of dealing with the people that they work with, relationships, and kind of the heart of the company in addition to the financial health of the company.
Do you think there's a connection even with that and the bottom line for them? That there is something that is important in terms of relationship and achieving results?
I think what they're seeing, especially kind of the more traditional business owners and CEOs, is that companies like Google and Yahoo and Apple have hallways that have bicycles in them and pool tables for the creativity to come out, and here they are in their hardcore boardrooms and they're thinking those companies are making a fortune and are doing very well and are attracting very young, bright, creative people, and I think we need a little bit of that, and maybe a coach can hold my hand and help me walk through that.
So coaches hold hands.
I do. I really find that when I work with my client, whether my client is kind of just a lower level employee or the owner of the company or the CEO of a large corporation, I'm partnering with them. And when I partner, my visual of that is holding their hand. And if they're in a hole, I climb down in that hole with them, but I bring a ladder.
Excellent. Some people think that it's impossible for people to change, that people never change. You've heard this. What do you say to that?
I think people are always evolving, so they're always changing. So instead of feeling like people never change, I feel like people are always changing. And so I think that anything is possible for anyone.
How do you deal with real obstacles?
I think it depends, obviously, what the obstacles are, but I think there have always been obstacles. Right now, I think because of technology, television, CNN, immediate internet information that's coming across all the time, I think we're able to look at the obstacles and see them continuously. My guess is 50 years ago or 100 years ago, there were as many, if not more, obstacles and less solutions. Right now, when you have obstacles, you can find solutions almost anywhere.
And you can find a coach.
And you can certainly find a coach.
So how has the role of coaching changed because of this immediacy? Has the need for a coach increased in your view?
I think it really has, because when people react instead of responding, which is one of the areas that coaches very often see immediately and begin to work on, then their risk, a business owner or an executive's risk, is extremely high, because any reaction that happens to be inappropriate or improper is immediately picked up and broadcasted everywhere. So having a coach is a very safe place to toss out ideas, to use the language that you may be wanting to use in the boardroom or with your employees, and test it out and see how it sounds to the coach and see how it sounds to yourself before you put yourself out there.
So a wise person would have a wise coach, it sounds like.
Absolutely. I think there are so many ways that an executive can use a coach. Not only do you get the whole business piece, the sounding board piece, the confidentiality piece, but you also get a partner who really focuses on you and cares about you. And you don't always get that if you're the top guy in the company.
Now, you're known for the fun you bring into the equation. Is it tougher to bring the fun in these difficult times, or is it something you do even more of?
I was going to say, I don't think it has to do with the times being difficult. It's a little unusual for some executives, CEOs, business owners that are a little bit more hardcore. Some of them would not be a good fit for me. And right off the bat, when we have a conversation, I can feel it, and I let them know that my number one requirement of a client is having a sense of humor that they're willing to draw on. And I think that one of the other pieces of bringing heart and bringing some emotion and caring to your business is being able to smile and laugh and look at the bright side of things and bring that into the boardroom as well. Well, actually, one of the most fun things and sort of wacky things was when I was introduced to about 1,600 or 1,700 people at the International Coach Federation in Chicago, their international conference, and I was coming in as their president. And I walked on stage with only my work shirt on, which was long, almost to my knees, but I had on no pants. And I walked onto the stage and said that speaking to a large crowd like that, I needed to be the most comfortable. And the most comfortable place that I have and am usually is in my office when I'm coaching. And very often in my office when I'm coaching, I'm wearing my work shirt and I bring my jeans and throw them on the chair next to me in case there's a fire. And that's how I work. So it made me most comfortable to speak to them from that place. And I think that was something that was fun and shocking, and everybody felt like that's how I work too, because it was a room filled with coaches.
What in your life contributed to your being fearless and gutsy? That was a gutsy move you just described. What contributed to your being that way?
I really do not know. I mean, I came from relatively humble beginnings. I mean, I was not dirt poor, but one of the things that we had in our household was kind of wacky, fun. I had a brother, I still have a brother, who's older than me and has one of the greatest senses of humor. And I think that I grew up with a lot of laughter and a lot of playfulness. So it's comfortable and fun for me.
So what would you like to bring to the world as a possibility? You have founded an organization called the Coach Initiative, along with Donna Steinhorn and Guy Stickney.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to see coaching do for the world?
I just think that everyone should have, it would be lovely if everyone had, a partner and a little bit of time every week or every month to focus just on themselves. And I think that if the Coach Initiative can help support those organizations, the leaders of organizations that are out there doing good things in the world, if it can bring coaching to those who would not otherwise have access to coaching, then I think we have made an impact in changing lives. If we support organizations like the Graham Foundation, which supports parents of preemies and those who have babies in the neonatal intensive care units, and organizations like Stand Up for Kids that supports kids that are on the street, and the Palestinian-Israeli organization that's trying to bring peace and talk about peace. If we can support the leaders of those organizations to do a better job, to avoid burnout, to communicate better and create better relationships through the pebble in the pond theory, we will reach hundreds and hopefully hundreds of thousands of people in a positive way.